Dear student, today I want to discuss about the basic concept of radiology and most important respiratory disorders which is given in your examinations. Now I want to discuss the basic concept of radiology in short, which is very important for your examinations and daily practice. Chest X-ray is performed to evaluate lungs, heart and chest wall. Lungs, heart and chest wall. Normal X-ray is taken with the patient in upright position, taking deep breath and holding it for few seconds. Routine chest X-ray is done posterior anterior view PA view and others view are anterior posterior view or AP view, lateral view and oblique view. In small children who cannot stand, usually chest X-ray done in AP view instead of PA view. Now during chest X-ray reading, you should carefully see the following points. Side of the X-ray, right or left. Here is left or right mark given in the X-ray chest. Position of the patient. Position of the patient. Bony position of the patient is evaluated by the position of the clavicle and bony configuration, and this is the bony configuration of the chest. Bony configuration of the chest and position of the trachea, which is lying in the central, and outline of the diaphragm, both right and left dome. This right dome of the diaphragm, left dome of the diaphragm. Right dome is slightly higher than the left dome. And costophenic and cardiophrenic angles in both sides. These are the cardiophrenic angle, these are the costophenic angle. Cardiophrenic angle and costophenic angle both are free. And of course you also look at the heart size and lung fields including hilar. This is lung fields including hilar shadow. This is the normal chest X-ray. Now position of the patient, if not correct, there may be distortion of the thoracic structure and give rise to dextrocardia or mediastinal shifting. So first of all, you observe the medial end of the both clavicles. This is the medial end of the both clavicles with relation to the pedicles of the thoracic vertebra. Usually medial end of the clavicle should be equidistant from the at the level of the T4 and T5 level, T5 thoracic vertebra. So the medial end of the clavicle should be equidistant from the spinous process at the level of the T4 and T5 thoracic vertebra. If the position is not correct, the heart may appear shifted. This is the clavicular inner ends are not equidistant from the spine. Now side of the X-ray, right or left. Always look on the top of the film for right or left marker. This is the left marker which indicates the patient's position, right or left. If this radiology marker are not given, you should determine the side of the chest by the diaphragm. Usually right dome of the diaphragm 2.5 cm higher than the left dome of the diaphragm. Fundal gauge in the left side. This is the fundal gauge on the left side. And heart normally 1/3 of is on the right side, 1/3 is on the right side, and 2/3 on the left side. And cardiac apex which is on the left side. So by this way you can determine the right or left side of the chest if radiological mark are not given. Now cardiac salute on the radiologically, how can you estimate the or determine the formation of the right wall of the heart or left wall of the heart. The right wall of the heart, upper part formed by the superior vena cava, ascending aorta, right atrial appendages, and lower half is formed by the right atrium. But right ventricle border or right ventricle does not contribute the right border of the heart. And left of the cardiac salute is formed by the aortic arch, which is formed by the aortic knob, and pulmonary trunk, left atrial appendages, and lower half is formed by the left ventricle. This sometimes is asked in Viva board. Now heart size measurement. The cardiac salute occupies 50 to 58% of the chest wall. Cardiothoracic ratio is used for measuring the heart size. Maximum transverse diameter of the heart is slightly less than half of the maximum transverse diameter of the chest. Maximum transverse diameter of chest, which is less than 0.5, and cardiomegaly is suspected when the cardiothoracic ratio is more than 55%. Now diameter of the heart is measured as follows: measurement of maximum transverse diameter of heart. So how can you measure the maximum transverse diameter of the heart? From the midline. Take the maximum diameter of the right border of the heart and left border of the heart. So from the midline, first you measure the maximum diameter of the right side of the heart and left side of the heart. Say it is A and it is B, and summation of this A and B indicates the maximum transverse diameter of the heart. Alternatively, it can be measured by taking the distance between the two vertical tangents of the heart outline, which is maximum diameter. That is, you can also measure from the maximum diameter of the heart in this way. And maximum transverse diameter of chest, you can measure from the coast opening angle to coast opening angle. And after calculation of the maximum diameter of the heart and maximum diameter of the chest, you should find out the ratio. If the ratio more than 6 in case of children, it indicates there is cardiomegaly. This is the maximum diameter of the chest. Lung pills. Radiologically, lung pills are divided into the 3 zones, all of which are seen in the posterior PA view. You know, anatomically, right lobe of the right lungs divided into upper lobe, middle lobe and lower lobe. But in left lobe, it is the upper lobe and middle lobe. So, but radiology, there is 3 lobes, both right and left lung. The upper zone is radiology marked by the portion of the lungs above the second costal cartilage. Portion of the lungs above the second costal cartilage is the first rib. This is the second rib. So above the second costal cartilage, it is the upper zone, and middle zone, second to fourth costal cartilage, is the middle zone, and lower zone next lower less below the and below the fourth costal cartilage it is the lower zone. So upper zone from above up to the second costal cartilage, from the up to the second costal cartilage, and middle zone second to fourth costal cartilage, and lower zone below the fourth costal cartilage. Now how to present this chest X-ray? Examiner usually asks, look at the X-ray. Look at the X-ray. What are the findings? What is your diagnosis? Examiner should immediately look at the top of the plane to look for right or left to confirm the site. Right or left, confirm the site. Sometimes this mark not given, so in this case you should see the upper dome of diaphragm, right dome of diaphragm, which is slightly higher than the left dome, and fundal gas, which is the left side, and the apex of the heart in the left side. Then quickly look at the plane systematically and present the case methodically. Now the presentation of the normal X-ray, chest X-ray. Lung fields are clear on both sides. Lung fields are clear on the both sides. Trachea is central in position and slightly deviate to the right. Both domes of diaphragm are normal in position. Both domes of diaphragm in normal position. Right dome is slightly higher than the left dome. The heart is normal in transverse diameter. Heart is normal in transverse diameter, and bony configuration is normal. These are the normal chest X-ray. Now normal Belian in the chest X-ray. Chest X-ray view showing widening of the mediastinum with a clear mass in the right upper pericardiac border with characteristic cell-shaped projection, widening of the mediastinum and a clear mass which shows the cell-shaped projection. Diagnosis is normal thymus in children. Normal thymus is children. It is not the consolidation. It may be confused with the consolidation, mass lesion, lymphoma, tuberculosis, retrosternal goiter. Large thymus is more commonly seen in the boys. So, first, if you see this type of opacity, you think enlarged thymus. And this enlarged thymus sometimes present with wheezy chest. Chest X-ray shows bronchiolitis. This is the X-ray of the bronchiolitis. It's very common disease in our pediatrics age group, usually 2 months to 2 years, and our pediatric ward is only full of most of the time the patient with bronchiolitis. And if you look at this X-ray chest, there is hyperinflation of the chest. How can you understand the hyperinflation? There is horizontal ribs, low flat diaphragm, horizontal ribs, which indicate the hyperinflated chest, and hypertension, which is increase the blackish of the lung fields, increase due to air trapping, increase lung markings due to interstitial implantation. So there is the 3 characteristic signs: hyperinflation and hypertranslucency and increased lung markings, which indicate the findings of the bronchiolitis. Now next question: what do you expect to get on the chest examination? So you answer is in this way: inspection, fast breathing, chest indrawing, bloated chest, and percussion, it is hyperresonance, and auscultation, vesicular breath sound with prolonged expiration, and rhonchi occasionally find repetitions. Next question asks, what are the other causes producing vesicular breath sound with prolonged expiration? Your answer is bronchial asthma. In two conditions in children where the is vesicular sounds with prolonged expiration, these are the bronchiolitis and bronchial asthma. Now, next questions, what are the treatment of bronchiolitis? Your answer is no specific treatment, usually treatment is supportive. There's feeding difficulty, if feeding difficulty, there is breastfeeding if cannot tolerate or unable to feed, in that case you give the NG tube, otherwise breastfeeding or usual feeding. And if the nose is blocked, you should clean the blocked nose with normal saline and propped up position. Keep the baby is oil ventilated room. Monitor the arterial oxygen saturation by the pulse oximetry, and if there is oxygen saturation is less than 90%, you should give the oxygen. The oxygen is humidified oxygen therapy in case of significant hypoxia or cyanosis. And nowadays special treatment is given the 3% sodium chloride nebulization, properly oxygen driven, and given IV fluid if the baby is unable to feed. Antibiotic not required unless the evidence of bacterial infection. No need of steroid, no need of Ventolin nebulization or epitomia nebulizations. So only supportive treatment. Now what is bronchopneumonia? What is bronchopneumonia? It is defined as widespread diffuse facialveolar opacity associated with bronchial and bronchiolar inflammation, often affecting both lower lobes. In children, it occurs as a complication of measles or whooping cough. So it is the X-ray cyst of bronchopneumonia, bilateral facial opacity or air bronchogram, and which indicates patient suffering from bronchopneumonia, which is very common in children. Now next questions asked, difference between bronchiolitis, pneumonia and asthma. This is bronchiolitis. Age 0 to 2 years, peak less than 6 months. In pneumonia occurs in any age. Asthma usually after 1 year of age. Runny nose present in bronchiolitis, usually absent in pneumonia and may be present in asthma. And who is present in bronchiolitis, absent in pneumonia, present in asthma. In temperature is low grade in bronchiolitis but moderate to high grade in pneumonia, absent in bronchial asthma. And if you do the auscultations, breath sound is vesicular with prolonged expiration in bronchiolitis, and breath sound may be impaired, may be bronchovesicular. If consolidation, there may be bronchial breath sounds. In asthma, breath sound vesicular with prolonged expiration. And other added sound, crepitation is less marked in bronchiolitis, and pneumonia it is more marked. In asthma, usually it is absent. And rhonchi, it is bilateral rhonchi in bronchiolitis, but it is less common in pneumonia and it is more common in bronchial asthma. And total WBC count normal in bronchiolitis, neutrophilic leukocytes in pneumonia, and normal with eosinophilia. In excess chest, hypertransparency and hyperinflation, which is the cardinal findings of bronchiolitis, but in pneumonia there is consolidation or facial opacities. In asthma there is hyperinflation. In response to bronchodilators, it is doubtful, usually no response. Pneumonia no response, but it is dramatically response in bronchial asthma. Prognosis, chance of subsequent recurrent wheezing, and sometimes patient may develop in bronchial asthma in future life. In pneumonia it is completely recovered, and asthma there is recurrent attack. And this question is asked in the Viva board. Now it is the X-ray of consolidation. X-ray PAVO showing consolidation. This is the homogeneous opacity in the right upper and part of the middle zone with air bronchogram. There is blackish spot in this homogeneous opacity, which is the air bronchogram. and rest of the lung fields are clear. So you diagnose this consolidation right sided, right upper lobe and middle lobe consolidation. And what do you mean by air bronchogram? Air bronchogram, normally air in the bronchi through the normal lung parenchyma is not visible. When it is normal parenchyma, but this air bronchogram is not visible. When alveoli are filled with fluid, air in the bronchi becomes visible, called the air bronchogram. This is the homogeneous opacity, but this is in between the homogeneous opacity there is blackish spot, which is the air bronchogram. This is the air bronchogram, the homogeneous opacity. In between the homogeneous opacity there is blackish spot, which is the air bronchogram. This is the air bronchogram. This is the homogeneous opacity and with air bronchogram. So air bronchogram in the consolidation. Now what is consolidation? It is asked in the Viva board. It is a type of pneumonia. Type of pneumonia which is defined as inflammation in the lung parenchyma, characterized by the accumulation of the secretion and inflammatory cells in the alveoli. And what is the DD of X-ray consolidation in the X-ray? Your answer is lobar pneumonia and tuberculosis. So consolidation is the type of pneumonia, and you should answer is type of pneumonia which is characterized by the inflammation of the lung parenchyma, characterized by the accumulation of secretion and inflammatory cells in the alveoli. What are the DD? DD is lobar pneumonia and tuberculosis. Now, what is the classification of the pneumonia? Clinically, 4 types of pneumonia: community acquired pneumonia, nosocomial or hospital acquired pneumonia, pneumonia in immunocompromised patients, suppurative and aspiration pneumonia. And anatomically, 2 types of pneumonia: lobar commonly involves one or more lobe, and lobular, this is bronchopneumonia, involves many lobules of the lungs with bronchi or bronchioles, and usually bilateral alveolar consolidation. So this bronchopneumonia usually bilateral. And etiological classification of the pneumonia: 2 types: primary or specific pneumonia, and secondary, that is aspiration pneumonia. And what are the common organism causing community acquired pneumonia? The most common cause organism is the Streptococcus pneumoniae, the commonest causes. Second is the Chlamydia pneumoniae, Mycobacterium pneumoniae, and rarely Legionella pneumonia, pneumophila and Staphylococcus aureus, Haemophilus influenzae, Coxiella, Klebsiella, and viral infections. So most important is the Streptococcus pneumoniae, and second is the Mycobacterium pneumoniae, and third one is the Chlamydia. What is the pathology of pneumonia? 4 stages: stage of congestion 1 to 2 days, stage of red hepatization, the lungs become red and solid like as liver within 2 to 4 days, stage of grey hepatization 4 to 8 days, and stage of resolution 8 days to weeks, which is characterized by the crepitation on auscultation. Now what are the examination findings of the consolidation? Signs of consolidation: on inspection, restricted movement on the affected side of the chest; on palpation, vocal primitus is increased; on percussion, dullness, that is woody dullness; on auscultation, affected side of the chest shows breath sound is bronchial, that is high pitch; vocal resonance is increased; whispering pectorally is present; others, crepitation may be present during resolution stage, and pleural laugh may be present due to pleurisy. In Viva board, sometimes you ask draw the bronchial breath sound, draw the vesicular breath sound, and vesicular is prolonged expiration. So chest X-ray view showing pleural effusion. This is the X of the pleural effusion. Homogeneous opacity is the homogeneous opacity with concave upper margin. Homogeneous opacity, concave upper margin. Homogeneous opacity, concave upper margin. Obliteration of the costopenic and cardiopenic angle. This is the costopenic angle, cardiopenic and costopenic angle, cardiopenic and costopenic angle. Trachea and heart are normal. This trachea and heart are normal in small pleural effusion, but shifted to the opposite side in massive effusion. In this is massive effusion, trachea and heart shifted to the opposite side. This is the massive effusion, trachea and heart shifted to the opposite side. What are the causes of this is the bilateral pleural effusion. Bilateral pleural effusion. What are the causes of bilateral pleural effusion? All causes of transitive effusion such as congestive cardiac failure, nephrotic syndrome, cirrhosis of the liver and hypoproteinemia, biliary extensive pulmonary tuberculosis, collagen disease such as rheumatoid arthritis, systemic liver erythematosus and lymphoma. What are the common causes of pleural effusion? In children, pulmonary tuberculosis, post-pneumonic, connective tissue disorder, SLE, lymphoma, acute pancreatitis, cirrhosis of the liver, nephrotic syndrome and congestive cardiac failure. What are the examination findings of these patients? You should on inspection restricted movement of the affected side of the chest. On palpation, trachea and apex beat are shifted to the opposite side. Vocal primitus is reduced or absent on the affected side. On percussion, stony dullness on affected side. On auscultation on the affected side, breath sound diminished or absent. Vocal resonance diminished or absent. What are the definite signs of pleural effusion? Stony dullness on percussion on the affected side. Absent breath sound on auscultation on affected side. This is the radiology X-ray of the lung abscess. Cellular view showing a cavity with air fluid in the left upper and part of the middle zone. The cavity in the middle zone which contains the air fluid level. Diagnosis: lung abscess. What are the signs of lung abscess? It depends on the site. If deep seated within lung parenchyma, there may not be any physical findings. If it is near the surface, findings are chest examination reveals features of consolidation, rarely features of cavitation or combined consolidation and cavitation. On general examination, patient is toxic with high temperature. Claving usually develops after 10 to 14 days of lung abscess. Now, how can you treat the lung abscess? By antibiotic therapy, ideally according to culture and sensitivity. At first send a sputum for CS and at the same time start antibiotic. Usually broad-spectrum antibiotics such as ceftriaxone, flucloxacillin plus metronidazole. If there is a response, antibiotics should be changed according to culture and sensitivity, and duration of antibiotics 4 to 6 weeks, at least 2 to 3 weeks IV. And this is the X-ray of the pneumothorax. Hypertranslucency with absent vascular markings of the right side. There is collapse of the lung margin medially, and mediastinum shifted to the left side. The trachea shifted, FSB shifted. So there is right sided pneumothorax. Which type is pneumothorax? It is a tension pneumothorax because there is mediastinal shifting and there is the collapse of the lungs. Now, such is showing that it is also pneumothorax showing increased translucency with clear collapse margin on the left side. Trachea and heart mediastinum are shifted to the opposite side. Interstitial spaces. So why you do by collapse? Because the interstitial spaces are widened and ribs are more horizontal, and left of the diaphragm is pushed downwards. So this is the left sided tension pneumothorax. Now, what are the causes of pneumothorax? Answers are idiopathic, rupture of the tuberculous focus, rupture of the subpleural blebs, rupture of the pneumonia with bullous emphysema, lung abscess, acute severe asthma, and trauma, penetrating injury, any procedure, lung biopsy and ventilations. What are the signs of pneumothorax? Signs are on inspection, restricted movement of the on the aperture side of the chest, intercostal space may be full. On palpation, trachea and apex beat shifted to the opposite side. Vocal primitus is reduced on the aperture side. On percussion, hyperresonance in the aperture side. On auscultation, breath sound is diminished or absent on the aperture side. Vocal resonance is diminished or absent on the aperture side. And what are the definitive signs of pneumothorax? It is the hyperresonance on percussion and absence of breath sounds on auscultations. Now, what do you know? How can you treat the tension pneumothorax? Specific treatment: immediate insertion of the wide bone needle in the second intercostal space in mid-clavicular line with patient in sitting position. It is asked in Viva board. And what is the treatment? Your answer is immediate insertion of the wide bone needle. Which space? Second intercostal space in mid-clavicular line and patient in sitting position. And then water seal drainage and kept for at least 24 hours. Where the water seal drainage is given, the interstitial tube is inserted to the 4th, 5th or 6th interstitial space in the mid-axillary line, and the tip of the tube should be advanced in apical direction. It is connected to an underwater seal or one-way Heimlich valve at least for 24 hours. And other supportive patient should be kept propped up with oxygen inhalation, and if severe pain, give morphine 5 to 10 milligrams subcutaneously in adolescent. If you are working in a remote place and the patient presents with tension pneumothorax, what measures should you take? It is asked in a Viva board. Your answer is immediately I shall insert a wide bone needle, maybe cannula or Benflon, in the second interstitial space in the mid-clavicular line. This will allow the trapped air to escape, producing an audible hiss. Then I should transfer the patient immediately to the nearest hospital, and should remove the cannula, tape it securely. But you may tape it securely. Now this is the hydropneumothorax, X-ray of the hydropneumothorax. The increased translucency of the lungs, and this is the collapsed lung margin, and there is a horizontal fluid level with observation of the cardiopenic angle and postopenic angle, which is your impression is the hydropneumothorax. Hydropneumothorax. It is the collapse margin of the collapsed lungs. Now, what is hydropneumothorax? What are the causes? It is the accumulation of the air and fluid in the pleural space. So, air and fluid in the pleural space. Causes are iatrogenic during aspiration of pleural fluid. Common causes: bronchopleural fistula and trauma, penetrating injury or thoracic surgery, rupture of the lung abscess, esophageal rupture, erosion by the bronchial carcinoma, usually in the adult, not in children, and pulmonary tuberculosis. Now, this is the chest X-ray PA view showing multiple passive opacity in the upper and mid zone of the right lung. So, your diagnosis is pulmonary tuberculosis. So, multiple passive opacity in the upper and mid zone of the right lung, diagnosis is pulmonary tuberculosis. What are the causes of passive opacity in the lungs? This is asked in the Viva board. Your answer is in the pulmonary tuberculosis, Staphylococcus infection, Klebsiella infection, histoplasmosis, kerosene poisoning, hemochromatosis, and also the hemosiderosis in the in the mitral stenosis. This is the X-ray, multiple miliary shadow involving the all zones of the both lung fields. Trachea is central in position. Heart is normal in transverse diameter. Both costopenic and cardiopenic angle are free, and my diagnosis is miliary tuberculosis. And what are the causes of miliary mottling? The miliary tuberculosis, sarcoidosis, this is common in the adult, and interstitial lung disease, it is also common in the adult. Histoplasmosis, pneumoconiosis, it is also common in the adult, and pulmonary eosinophilia and hemosiderosis. This is the causes of the miliary mottling. So, dear students, today I want to highlight the most important pathological condition of the lungs and which is given in your examinations. And uh, in next class I want to discuss about the most important pathological conditions of the heart. Dear students, I think all of you can understand the radiology, radiological problems in the pediatrics age group, and thanks for your patience hearings.